Riley222. Thank you so much for the highly important effort you put into your channel. I love watching your videos. My question is this. I've heard a lot about the poor conditions and harsh treatment experienced by Sea Org members, for example in Flag or Int or St. Hill, etc. I've read about the limits on having a cell phone, a car, watching TV, keeping a passport, and so on. But what about Sea Org members who occupy certain positions in local orgs? I've met some of them and they have cell phones, Facebook pages, and some use cars. Does that mean that these ESO members have it better than those at higher orgs? Are they treated less harshly? Are they too sleep and food deprived and have heaps of pressure? Some Sea Org members, a select few, are posted in local orgs like Denver or Las Vegas or Milan or something like that. Orgs that I call local orgs, meaning orgs that are churches of Scientology that are not on the central bases where most of the Sea Org members are. And those are called, those staff members, those Sea Org members who are posted out there are called network staff because they are out there to do a very specific function at the local org, be a representative of management and handle financing in the orgs, things like that. So those Sea Org members have a lot more, you could say that they have a lot more leash given to them because they're out unsupervised and so they have to supervise themselves. Usually there's more than one of them posted in the local orgs, and so they keep an eye on each other and they don't get too out of hand, and and they have daily reports going back and forth between them and the Sea Org bases and their managers to keep them on the rails and keep them focused and give them direction and tell them what to do. And it's mostly the Sea Org members' job there to keep the staff on the rails and producing and keep them going and motivated and that sort of thing. So that's what they're doing there. If they have cell phones, it's pretty much because they're being in touch with public and out in the real world. It just kind of makes sense to have that versus having a being on the landline all the time in the modern world. Not too many people have that. But I'm willing to bet that most of them don't have data access on those cell phones. They can't just randomly look at stuff on the internet on those phones. As far as cars, I don't know. There's not really that big of a restriction on cars in the Sea Org. People in the Sea Org on bases do have cars if they can afford it. The main thing is Sea Org members can't afford to have cars because they can't make the insurance payments when they're making less than $50 a week. But as far as Facebook pages go, that's verboten. Any Sea Org member who's got a Facebook page is definitely off the rails. And that's not authorized. That's not something that they're authorized to have, at least not when I was in. It certainly wasn't. There would be no reason for a Sea Org member to have a Facebook page. So so that's just, that's a Sea Org member who's abusing his liberties. And he would be, if that sort of thing was found out about, they'd be yanked back to the base for correction and for handling. In other words, sec checking and ethics and punishments and all that sort of thing to get the guy back in line. And he either straightens up and promises to not do that crap anymore, or he doesn't go back out and he's kept on the base and they have to replace him with somebody else who will toe the line and will be able to be trusted, is how they would say it. So so they're given a little bit of leash, but they're not given a lot of leash, and they're supervised very closely. So, do they have it better? Yeah, they do. Do they have a better chance of snapping out of it and seeing how things really are? Yes. Do they have a better chance of getting on Google and looking up Scientology stuff? Yes, they do. And of course I say all that because that's how I did it. I wasn't posted in a local org, but I was out in orgs like that in Twin Cities and Las Vegas and out and about. And that's how I did it. So so I certainly know it could happen with other people, and of course I certainly hope that they do abuse their rights and the liberties and get on Google and find out what's really going on, and then take a hike.